Welcome to Jane Jackson Careers, a podcast that takes your career to the next level. Here's your host, Jane Jackson, author of Amazon Careers bestseller, Navigating Career Crossroads.
Well, hello and welcome to my Careers podcast, where I interview the most interesting personalities and professionals who have made amazing career changes or are leaders in their field. Now, today I'm honoured to have with me the Chief Procurement Officer of Caltex, Johanne Rossi. Johanne is one of Australia's most interesting procurement personalities with the ability to combine passion and intelligence with humility and care. She has won the Chief Procurement Officer of the Year Award, Procurement Leader of the Year, and her team was awarded the Most Improved Procurement Operation of the Year and Procurement Function of the Year. The Caltex CEO, Julian Siegel, said about her, Johanne has managed quite an amazing transformation at Caltex, changing the mindset both internally and externally of procurement, from just about buying the cheapest staplers to delivering on our company-wide strategy and creating value in partnership with our suppliers, who are now regarded as key business partners. Johanne is a very interesting lady. She's also an adventurer, a tennis player, a marathon runner, and for something completely different, holds a bachelor's degree in plastic arts from La Sorbonne in Paris. So let's find out a little bit more about this amazing lady, because I'm sitting here in the Caltex offices today, and Johanne, welcome to the podcast.
Thank you. Welcome to Caltex.
Oh,
I'm blushing.
Honestly, there's so much more that I could say about you, because your bio is phenomenal, but we'll find out all about it. But I have to say, just sitting here in the Caltex office, looking over Darling Harbour, it's just fantastic. Great spot. So how about, to kick us off, tell us a little bit about your early days. Where are you from, and what were your early career aspirations?
Yeah, so I'm French, obviously. You can hear that with my very strong accent. So I was born in the south of France, near Marseille, and I actually lived everywhere in France. So Marseille, in Normandy, in Reims, where we make the champagne. I'm an expert in champagne.
Oh, lovely.
Ask me anything about champagne, I know. I lived in Paris as well. And yeah, as you said, I used to play tennis. I played on the Roland Garros courts.
Have you?
Yeah, when I was little, I was not as a professional. I was the champion of Normandy for about 10 years in a row, something like that.
Oh, I'm in the presence of greatness.
Yeah, and I did some interesting stuff as well. I went to a special school when I was from 10 to 14 years old, something like that. I was going to the normal school in the morning.
Yes.
And music school in the afternoon. Playing violin. I played violin for about 10 years as well. And then at the same period, every evening playing tennis every weekend as well. I think along the years, I kept that activity. I can't doing stuff all the time.
Oh, that's amazing. So you're athletic, you're musical and creative, and
yeah, I'm not doing that much anymore, but I think I kept the creativity side. I'm always, eager to find new stuff to work on, new ideas. I read a lot about a lot of things. So
sounds like you have a real natural curiosity about life and everything that life could offer as well. So when you were young and you started to think, okay, what do I want to be when I grow up?
Yeah.
What things were going
I actually didn't know what I wanted to do. I think there was a period I wanted to be a neurosurgeon, just because I thought I was very good with my hands. I really liked the medical industry. I like the principle behind it as well, doing something good for the people, saving lives. I think it sounds a bit cheesy, but that's something that attracted me a lot. But then I was not really sure. I think I was a bit too hectic to find just one thing to do and do always the same thing. So that's why I chose to do the Masters in Business, so that I could have multiple options after. And that's what I did after as well. Like, I changed industries and countries and jobs along the way. I lived in, I don't know how many countries, but I lived in London, I lived in Switzerland, I lived in the States, I lived in South Africa, I lived in Switzerland. So I traveled a lot, and it's funny because when I arrived in Australia, I felt different. I felt like I didn't belong to any countries I was before, and when I arrived in Australia, I thought that's where I want to be. And it took me a while to understand why, but I think I'm very attracted to all the values and how people live in Australia. there's not much past in Australia. It's quite a young country, so it's all trying to build its future. So anything is possible. You can reinvent yourself here, and I think that's what I wanted to do. Have many options and not know from where I'm coming from. People in boxes and things like that. I think in Australia people are a lot more open to anything. You can do anything, you can be anything, and you can change along the way as well.
Yeah.
And people judge you for, well, they don't really judge you, but they see you for who you are now. They don't leave you into what you were in the past.
Yeah, I think that's probably what maybe does appeal to you as well, is because Australia being such a young country in a way, all that baggage perhaps is not dragging them down, and having experienced so many different countries and different cultures too. And obviously, you've got a naturally very curious mindset coming somewhere where it's also fresh and new, and also I think the lifestyle here, people are very open. They're very interested and very welcoming.
All the time,
Well, it's nice being near all the beaches too. But when you think about it, though, so many people think, coming from Europe, and especially coming from France, that's so romantic and so exotic in a way too.
Yeah, they will ask you, why didn't you stay there? It's so fabulous. And I lived in Paris for 4 years. I was working for Accenture at the time on the Champs-Élysées. It's the best place to live.
To me, that sounds like working on the Champs-Élysées for Accenture in Paris. I mean, amazing. And so you've had quite a lot of changes. And in your background information that I've got here, so you went to business school, and then you were working part-time in order to help to pay for all of your school fees.
Yes,
fees.
Gosh, I forgot about that. Yeah.
And then you completed...
I was working for Pizza Hut at night.
Yeah, Pizza Hut too.
Pizzas.
Well, there you go. You've done everything. And so then you went on to complete a Master of Science in Management, and you were 23 by then, and then you started globetrotting. And you worked for places such as, well, we've mentioned Accenture, but ExxonMobil, Nestle, Qantas, and now Caltex. So you've not only experienced big changes in culture with countries, it's also changes in culture and environment with all the different organizations and industries that you've been in, from, the airline industry to FMCG to management consulting, and now here at Caltex. I mean, it's really a lot of change. So you must embrace change.
Yeah, I think it's become one of my strengths as well, is to lead change in organizations. And I really like the different experiences that it gives you, the different perspectives. And you can use anything you learn from somewhere else and apply it to a different industry. And that's often how you do innovation as well. You look at what the other industries are doing and you try to apply it to a different industry, because that's not how they work, that's not the status quo. So you can bring a lot of opportunities from that. And I'm very curious, so I like investigating what are they doing, why are they doing that, the people as well. People are different depending on the industry as well.
It sounds like you're not afraid of change.
No, I actually like change.
You embrace it.
I'm always after doing things better, creating value, finding opportunities and growing along the way.
I'm interested to find out, because this podcast is all about career transition as well, and how people handle change and how they can reinvent themselves. And it sounds like you've reinvented yourself very easily, or maybe it took a lot of hard work, but you were willing to give it a go. So because so many organizations do experience change and transformation, and transformation is such a buzzword at the moment,
I know.
People feel anxious when there is change, and many people tend to hold on to the past and the way things were, and when there's change it causes quite a lot of anxiety.
It's true.
What's your view on change and transformation within organizations?
Yeah, that's a very good question, because I'm doing change with my life and with myself. I'm trying to grow all the time. At first I didn't realize that people are not naturally like that. So now my focus is to try and help people go through change, live through ambiguity and things like that. And the main thing I'm doing, especially at Caltex, is trying to create a culture of trust and safety nets around people, so they feel safe to change. They don't feel like they're losing something and going somewhere where they don't know what's going to happen to them or things like that. So I'm very big on empowering people so they can move away and try new things and try to innovate and feel good about that, because they're creating new assets for themselves. Is that clear?
Yeah, no, it is. Because honestly, change is so fascinating. What would you think, what are the key qualities that are required in order to accept change and turn it into a benefit when you're actually experiencing change?
I think, I don't know, it depends on people, but to me, it's about self-confidence. And that's something I've learned, along the years. And I think, the older you get, the better you get at changing as well, which is weird because sometimes you think, older people, they don't want to change, they don't want to make any effort. Mm-hmm. It's about knowing yourself better and knowing that through change, you're learning things, you're growing, so it's a good thing for you. And I think you are as well. I'm quite fascinated by, people and how they can actually grow, and there's no limit to that. There's a lot of things about that at the moment, like Todd Sampson and his, redesigning your brain. I think it's all related to that.
Yeah, I think I embrace change. I find it so interesting because if everything's the same all the time, it gets a little dull.
Yeah, no, you don't learn anything along the way if you do always the same thing.
Yeah, there's no growth, is there?
There's some security behind it, though.
Yeah.
There's a comfort that you're not going to be disturbed, you're not at risk and things like that.
But you know what? Even if we don't want change, I can guarantee there will be change. And there's that saying, is the only constant is change.
It's change. Yeah.
And no matter how good something is, it will change. No matter how bad something is, it will change and it will get better. So, like even if you're at the top of the mountain, at some stage you're going to be coming down. If you're right at the bottom, you're going to be able to go up as well. And I think it's just that attitude as well. And
it's also how you take it, because I think just using the word change or transformation, why do we make such a big deal about it?
Yeah.
Because everything is evolving, so we shouldn't just point out and say, ooh, watch out, we're changing.
Yeah.
Be scared.
And go with the flow sometimes. You know what was interesting was before we started the podcast, we were talking about the flow when we were talking about your personal interests, especially in fitness. And because, Johanne, you are this amazing marathon runner and you've run the Sydney Marathon twice.
You say that, but you're way better than me. I'm very impressed by your results in the marathons.
Mutual Admiration Society. We both run 2 marathons, for anyone who doesn't know. And it takes a lot of training, it takes determination, you need to have a certain level of fitness. But for me, I'm more like a fun runner. I do the marathons because it's fun. It takes dedication and determination and a lot of training.
No one says it's fun. Gosh.
Okay, so how did you feel when you nearly saw the finish line after your first marathon?
You're teasing me because you know exactly how I felt. I cried for the last kilometre and I couldn't stop. I had a massive smile.
Yeah.
But
so it's tears of joy. Tears of joy for the last kilometre of the marathon, 26.2 kilometres, 22.6 miles, right?
Yeah.
And your legs are screaming, your lungs are going, you're nearly at the end, but it's exciting, isn't it?
It is, but you know what? Mm-hmm. To me, the most exciting part was deciding to do it and started training. So when I started, I think I started 6 years ago or something like that, I couldn't run more than 20 minutes. So I started the first few weeks 20 minutes, then 25 minutes, then 30 minutes, then 40, etc. And I thought, oh my God, this is incredible. I thought I was old and, my abilities were diminishing, etc. And then I thought, oh my God, this is incredible how you can, improve in anything you try. So, we always do the parallel between sports and business, but, it's the best story you can tell, to a team. I was at the same time, experiencing my marathon training and stuff with my team at the time and telling them, how I was going, etc. And before doing the marathon, I did the City to Surf, I did the half marathon and stuff like that. So it was, a phase of discovery and improvement. And that was, I think the last kilometre I had on the marathon was the summary of the year of training, where it was like, oh my God, this is incredible, I think when you get older, you think that your biggest asset is, your experience and your maturity, but no, you can do anything.
Experience new
Life
things.
is incredible.
Yeah. And I think also training for a marathon, because it takes that determination and regularity too. It's like keeping at it. Yeah. Too many people give up too soon. Don't you think? And, sometimes it's just, you keep going and eventually you will get there.
Yeah.
I think that's when you feel the most proud of yourself, when you do get there.
And I think it's again, the journey is incredible. I remember trying to trick myself into, not giving up. So I want to always do new things. I don't like really, repetition. And anyway, so I was trying to trick myself by changing the exercises I was doing or the type of training, you know, how do you call when you do heels training and then all that was...
Interval training.
And all that. I thought that was so boring, but I was trying to, you know, diversify and do cycling, do swimming. I hate swimming, but... So I thought the process was incredible, and it's, you know... Life is like that.
I think you find a lot of metaphors with that as well.
Yeah.
I think we can talk running and marathons for a long time. But now I want to find out something else. Now, this is a completely different thing that you did.
I know what you're going to talk about.
While you were working at Accenture, you went off and you did a bachelor's degree in plastic arts from La Sorbonne in Paris. What's going on here?
Oh, that was amazing.
So exciting.
I know. So I thought... I don't want to offend anyone there, but I thought the job I was doing at Accenture, that was, you know, one of my first jobs. That was pretty boring, so I wanted some excitement. So I started going to night classes. So, like, you're going to love that. There was a group of people with a fabulous teacher who was taking us at night in Le Louvre. Oh. So he was opening the doors just for us, and we were going in the sculptures rooms, and we were just drawing the sculptures to, you know, train on how to draw and draft and stuff. That was absolutely amazing. Amazing.
To me, it just sounds so romantic.
You know what? I got goosebumps again, because that was just the fact that, you know, you knew it was very special because the museum was closed, and then, you know, sitting there in front of these beautiful Roman sculptures and stuff, that was incredible. And then going to work the next day was average, but...
La Sorbonne. I mean, it just makes me feel so excited. You know, many years ago, my first degree was in graphic design.
Oh, here you go. So much coming down.
Unbelievable. I am the worst graphic designer you could ever imagine.
Yeah, but it's the experience again, no?
And I couldn't even draw a straight line. It was so funny. I was working in public relations initially, and just as a sideline, I was doing all this graphic design, and people would laugh because they said, Jane, you know, why is it not quite straight? And I realised, no, I don't think that's my career path. But plastic.
But how much did you learn through that, though?
Oh, I learned a lot. It was great. I think I've got a good eye. I just can't actually do it.
But you know what? I was rubbish as well.
Really?
Yeah, I don't really draw anything, but it's the creative process, and then being amongst all these arts and stuff like that. I loved art history.
Yeah.
I thought all the stories behind the artist and why, and I admire people who have a skill like that, you know, who can draw anything and it looks fabulous.
And you know what this also ties into, I'm thinking, is that because you've got that natural curiosity, and art is such a innovative and creative environment, so you were really surrounding yourself with people who had natural curiosity too, like yourself. But what is plastic arts all about? What did you do?
It's any art, like drawing, painting, also collage. How do you say that in English?
Collage?
Yeah. Oh, sorry, it's the same.
Sounds better when you say it than when I say it.
It was just experimenting with different materials and stuff like that, but you also had all normal subjects. You had art history, you had different languages and things like that. That was incredible.
Absolutely fascinating.
And you know what? Anyway, sorry. So I was doing that at night and by correspondence, and then the exams were in rooms and stuff like that. There was, I remember, 1 week in rows like that, where you had massive tables like that, and you were just doing art for hours and hours. And I don't know, at the time, I was still young, but all the guys in the room were, you know, between 18 and 20 years old. That was amazing.
Oh, how wonderful. It just gives me goosebumps just thinking about it.
The last exams I did, I think I was 7 months pregnant. So I had, like, my big belly was doing all these things, and I felt, you know, in tune with the baby, with the art. And
maybe the baby would have absorbed some of
this.
this.
It's not artistic at all, though. But, but he's very creative. Like, he's quite,
Well, at least you exposed to it.
Exactly.
So that's the important thing.
Yeah,
so now, this career path of yours, you are now the Chief Procurement Officer. We have to talk business. Yes, this is about careers, okay, Joanne? This is about careers now. Back on track. But, I mean, very interesting background. But also you have had such an eclectic life so far. Fantastic.
Really.
So with regard to your path to Chief Procurement Officer here at Caltex, I mean, that's amazing. And everything that you're doing here at Caltex is phenomenal. phenomenal. And I know that you do a lot of speaking. You've won so many awards. Coming up in Melbourne in April, you're going to be speaking at the Women in Procurement. In May, you're going to be flown over to London and you're going to be speaking at the World Procurement Congress.
Yes.
I mean, I'm feeling a bit nervous just talking to you now. So
No, I'm nervous talking to you. You're so confident and at ease with that.
No, I just like having a chat. But okay, so tell me, for someone who wants to get into procurement, because right now you are up here so high in procurement and people look at you, well, okay, maybe so, but people look at you and really you've got so many accolades, you've done an amazing job. If someone wants to get into procurement, what are they looking for? Tell me about procurement, because not everyone understands what procurement really is.
Yeah, I'm not sure I understand. Yeah.
So tell me, what's your take on procurement?
Yeah, well, it's evolving. So your question is quite interesting for me because I'm not a traditionalist procurement. So traditional procurement is very much about creating tenders, issuing tenders, evaluating suppliers and picking the lowest price initially and then, the lowest total cost of ownership. Now I'm trying to go beyond just that process function, trying to look at suppliers in a different light and stop that master-servant relationship that we often have with suppliers and trying to create partnerships where we realize that suppliers are often our biggest assets. They often know a lot more than us, so we can benefit from the relationship and share the benefits of working together. So I'm trying to find people to bring to my team in procurement who have different skill sets than procurement, really. Mm-hmm. So I'm looking for people who are well-rounded, who are all about people, all about relationships, and with the mindset of finding opportunities and sharing the opportunities with everyone. Believer in the fact that if you give, you're going to receive back, and if you share, you're going to create more value for everyone. Mm-hmm. So in my procurement world, I'm trying to find people who are business savvy, who are very curious, very interested, asking a lot of questions so that they understand why we're buying what we're buying. Are there other ways we can buy to fulfill a need? Trying to understand better the fits there is with suppliers, and also trying to create new opportunities outside of traditional what we're doing. I don't know if that was very clear, but
no, I can see it really is to do with relationship building, because I think maybe so often within organizations, different departments view procurement, and you tell me if this is as really you're just trying to squeeze down to the lowest dollar.
Yes.
So it's all about the money, and it's analysing this cost versus that cost, and then, okay, we'll be able to save so much money in this area. Am I correct?
Yes.
And these are the assumptions. But it sounds like from what you're describing, it's so much more than that.
Mm.
Yeah.
And so the attraction for young people who may be interested in procurement, to me, it's procurement is at the center of the business, and trying to connect different parts of the business, external, internal. There's also a way we can better connect suppliers with our customers, because ultimately our suppliers are providing what we're going to provide to our customers. So the attraction is also that it's a moving function, trying to reinvent itself all the time. Yeah.
Interesting. Interesting times.
So I'm not happy with that because I don't think I explained that very well, but I try to develop it. I'm fascinated by what we can do with this.
Yeah, there's so much more to procurement than what we see on the surface as well. And so right now, how large is your team here at Caltex?
It's about 30 people.
And what are the key qualities that you look for when taking on someone in your team?
It's quite interesting because we changed the way we recruit people. It was in the past very much based on, how many years of experience do you have in procurement, how many years of experience do you have in this particular category and things like that. Now I'm trying to shift that around and look for behaviors, mindsets, potential, interest, commerciality, but also everything around people. To me, I want people-centric people, and I'm looking also for a fit with the team, because we work as a team all the time. We support each other. I was talking about, creating trust at the beginning. to me, this is very important. The team is very, very critical because we need to have each other's back all the time and fight for each other. Well, fight, I don't like that word, sorry. Support each other, because if you want to create, if you want to be innovative, you're going to take risk. So if you can only take risk if you don't feel that you're threatened, if you feel the trust, if you feel that, it's okay to fail because you're learning all the time. So I'm looking for these type of people who are also looking for growing, looking for creating real connections, real relationships, and who have a growth mindset where they think that everything is possible, everything is an opportunity, life is fabulous, life is beautiful. But, however, I look also for people who are very business-driven, right? They're here for results, they're here for value, they know how to calculate value, they know how to do a should-cost model on how much does this piece of equipment cost, by doing research, by interviewing people and getting to the real value of everything. So it's not all la la land and stuff like that, but to me it's so exciting. I can talk about that for hours.
Well, this is why you are who you are right now. But that's interesting. Once they've got that technical capability, they need to have an analytical, really with the technical functional side of it, they need to have the analytical capability. They need to be able to read a spreadsheet. They need to be able to make certain decisions after careful analysis. But then after that, the X factor is the fit. What potential have they got? What their mindset? Are they people, individuals?
Yes.
Will they get along with the rest of the team? Are they team players? So that the soft skills are just as important as the technical skills. In fact, maybe once you've got the technical skills,
they're more important.
Then the soft skills are more important. And so pulling your team together, what are the challenges of a leader? Pulling a good team together.
It's exhausting. Well, because of the type of people I'm after, and you should meet my team, it's fascinating. Because I'm looking for people with huge potential and people who are quite humble and they've got a vulnerability to them. That's how you grow. They're very, very challenging to manage. Because of their potential, they always want to grow, they always want to learn, they always want to get feedback. So I love it, though. I wouldn't have it any other ways, but that's my life is that I'm not really involved in too much details about what they're doing. I trust that they're doing that in a fabulous manner. I'm just here to support them to really use all their potential and grow to their best self. And by the way, I'm talking about millennials at the next forum I'm talking to.
Millennials?
Yes.
Millennials,
Sorry, I can't say that properly.
It's that beautiful French. How do you say it in French? How do you say millennials in French?
I don't know.
You don't know?
No.
You're French. You should
Well,
know.
I haven't lived in France for 20 years. I don't know.
You've still got the accent. Okay, she's trying to say millennials.
Yes, thank you very much. So most of my team are millennials. That's quite interesting, and I think that's because of the profile I'm after. It's not about discrimination, but they're very, very demanding. They want everything now. They want to grow now. They want to have opportunities now. They want to change the world. They want to save the world, and they want to be good and fabulous at the same time. So it's very demanding. They ask a lot of feedback and what do you think of that and support, but it's the best thing I've done so far.
Oh, so exciting. I guess also because being reasonably young and curious. No, I'm talking about your team.
Team. Let's clarify.
Well, you look very young.
Thank God they can't see me.
But I think people can tell that it would be a lot of fun working on your team, Johanne. So for them, they're young, they're curious, they've got this, demanding mindset. They want something more, something better. How can we improve this? How can we improve this? So that's the sort of mindset that you need to be a truly successful procurement professional, yes?
Yeah.
Johanne, I could talk to you about everything. I mean, honestly, everything and anything. We haven't even got on to champagne.
I know.
What it's like to play a violin. But
so hard. So
but your career journey has been very, very interesting, really eclectic. But I think what you've demonstrated is that embracing change is a good thing. Just before we wind up, could I ask you, what would you consider to be the top 3 tips for success?
Well, I think you can deduct from what I talked about. I think the main thing for me, I'm going to talk about, what advice according to how I feel, is to find what's unique about you, what's your why, what do you want to do, what's your uniqueness, and then build a story around that so that you know who you are, you know where you're going. Another one that is super key for me is to be genuine, to be humble, to be vulnerable and transparent about that. Like I talk to my team about all the flaws I've got all the time because I think that's how you can grow and get support from others. Another one that is quite interesting is treat yourself in a gentle manner, like be gentle with yourself. I think it's quite interesting because that's what I see in my team in particular. They're quite harsh with themselves. And I think...
You mean they push themselves very hard?
Yeah, and they think this, they should have that, sorry. And I don't know. I don't know why I've got an issue with that. I think you should treat yourself nicely as as an appreciating asset. Like you're growing, so if you're not happy with yourself now, it's okay. Just you're going to be better and better every day.
Yeah, you're so supportive. So top 3 tips is really embrace your uniqueness.
Yes.
Know and understand your story.
Yeah.
And then be genuine, be humble. Mm-hmm. And if you're vulnerable, it's okay.
It's okay.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And also don't be so hard on yourself. Mm. Yes, you want to get ahead, but sometimes you need to take a little detour. It's not always just the upward ladder, especially, in your career as well. It's like, okay, if you take a bit of a detour, or if that didn't work out, let's try something else.
Yeah.
Yeah. And those are really, really good tips, especially for millennials.
I'm not going to repeat that.
but also, honestly, I think just working with you would be such an inspiring experience because you're so warm, you're so genuine yourself, you live and breathe, obviously your values. So it's just been such an honor for me to talk to you today. Thank you.
Thank you so much for coming here, by the way.
And so I just want to remind everybody that you will be speaking in Melbourne at the Women in Procurement event on the 26th and 27th of April 2017.
Yes.
And then over in London there is the World Procurement Congress on the 16th and 17th of May, where we will hear the wonderful Johanne Rossi speak as well. And so do you have any parting thoughts for us today?
Oh, that was amazing. Thank you very much. I was a bit nervous to do it because I don't like talking about myself, but thank you very much.
Oh,
that was amazing to meet you.
Your story is so interesting. I think you should talk about yourself a bit more. Actually, we'll have you back on after you come back from London.
I would love that, actually.
Tell me, how did it go? How did it go? And what did you learn from it?
Perfect.
Right, thank you, Joanne.
Thank you so much.
Today's podcast is brought to you by Audible.com. You can get a free audiobook download and free 30-day trial at audibletrial.com/Jane Jackson Careers. There are over 180,000 book titles to choose, so give it a go and get your free audiobook today from audibletrial.com/Jane Jackson Careers.
You've been listening to Jane Jackson Careers. Sign up to receive regular career advice at janejacksoncoach.com.